What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am building a little rental in the jungle of Selvadorada, and yeah, I don't know, it has been a while since I've built anything in Selvadorada. I really like this world, but sometimes, I mean, you're a bit limited because you can only build rentals here. It's a vacation world that comes with Jungle Adventure, if you didn't know. And in vacation worlds, you can only build rentals, so no residential homes. So yeah, I am building this little rental in Selvadorada because I found this really cute picture on Pinterest that I used as a reference for this build. It was not an actual photo, but it was a little sketch or a little cartoon of a house that was really cute, and I'm sure that other people have seen it. Maybe you might even recognize it because I feel like a lot of people or a lot of Sims builders that are on Pinterest kind of come across the same things sometimes, and I mean that happens. It's not a big deal at all, but I found this little build, and maybe if you're on Pinterest a lot and you look for builds, then maybe you might recognize this one. But it was the cutest little sketch of a house and I just really wanted to use that one for reference. So that's what I did, and yeah, I did add an extra little box on the side of the build to just kind of make it my own, and yeah, just take inspiration but not like copy it exactly. So that's at least what I try to do. And I decided to build it in the jungle of Selvadorada because I thought it would fit in here, and I thought it would be a very cute little home for an archaeologist. So that's the type of sim that I built it for, and you can see that I started out on this lot. This is one of my favorite lots in Selvadorada because it's not too big and it has a very nice view. But the lighting is a bit difficult. Like, you can't get pretty lighting for screenshots or anything on this build because there's no like direct sunlight on the build ever. I mean, I'm sure at certain parts of the day there will be, but for building, like when you're just using build mode, it's kind of difficult. And I don't know, I just felt like there were a little bit too many shadows, and I didn't really like the lighting on this lot, so I moved it to a different one where it looks a little bit prettier. And yeah, I don't know, you'll probably see me do that shortly. We'll probably be switching over to that other lot in Selvadorada. I actually wanted to make this into a tiny home at first, but because it's a rental, you can't actually use the tiny home residential lot type, obviously. It's already in the word tiny home residential. Like, you can only use it for residential lots. You can't use it on rentals or anything. But that's okay though. I figured, you know what, I'm not gonna make it into a tiny home because it turned out a little bit too big for that anyway. But here you can see we switched to a different lot, and I also picked out the wallpaper for this house for the exterior because it was taking me a little bit too long. I was so unsure about it, but then in the end I went with that yellow siding from Jungle Adventure combined with dark green paneling on certain parts of the build as well. So I was using a lot of yellow tones and green tones and dark browns, and I don't know, it's not a color scheme that I go for ever, but I do think it looks very interesting, and it just mixes really well with the jungle environment, in my opinion at least. So that's why I decided to go with it. And one thing I actually also wanted to do was make this an off-the-grid home, but for some reason you can't use the off-the-grid lot trait for rentals, which is really weird in my opinion. I don't understand. I don't know why that's a thing, because I didn't know that. I was certain that I could make it into an off-the-grid home, but I couldn't because it was a rental. So that was a little bit disappointing. But I figured, you know what, then it's not gonna be an off-the-grid home, and I just decided to use electricity and running water and everything anyway. So the house turned out a little bit more luxurious than I initially wanted it to be. But maybe I'm happy about that. Like, I still really like it. I really like the vibe, the overall vibe that it has in the end. So yeah, like I said, I did furnish this house for an archaeologist, but I feel like it's not their permanent home. Gameplay wise, it can't be, because like I already explained, you can only build rentals in this world, so you can't live here unless, I think there's a mod for it, so unless you install that mod, then you can. But I was just thinking that this archaeologist, they have this second home in the jungle, but they also live somewhere else that's not in the jungle, maybe in the city, maybe in an apartment, or maybe in just some suburban neighborhood or something. I don't really know, but I feel like that this jungle home is their second home where they come from time to time to do research and stuff and to do work basically. But then they also maybe like write articles or something for like National Geographic and that sort of thing. So they are here for part of the year to do research work and yeah, just research things, I guess. I'm not an archaeologist, so I'm not quite sure what you do when you're an archaeologist, but I feel like you research a lot. So that's what I figured this sim would do whenever they come over to this house to stay for a bit. And then they also go home again to write articles and things like that, and to, I don't know, maybe they also teach a class at university. I think that would be a fun idea. Maybe they like teach a class on like history or archaeology itself at university. That could be very interesting as well. And yeah, the house is actually a little bit too big for one sim by themselves. It has 2 bedrooms. It has 3 floors actually, and on the top floor there is a bedroom with a double bed, and then on the ground floor there is another bedroom which is like a little extra bedroom with a single bed in it. And I figured the sim would maybe rent that bedroom out from time to time whenever they stay here. Maybe they can rent out that bedroom on the ground floor to someone else who just wants to stay there for a vacation, or maybe a colleague or something, or maybe a family member or a friend, but I feel like they would just take them with them and they wouldn't really let them pay for the room. But I was also thinking that maybe at some point this archaeologist, I was thinking of it as a young adult or an adult sim, but maybe at some point they want to start a family and they want to bring their spouse and their kid as well. And then the kid can stay downstairs in the bedroom, and then the spouse and the sim can just share the bedroom upstairs. I thought that would be a fun idea as well. So I basically wanted there to be a little extra bedroom as well, so that you could use this house for gameplay. If you want to, for example, use it for a family that goes on vacation, then you can use it for a family up to 3 sims. I thought that that would be a fun idea, so that's what I tried to do at least. And yeah, here you can see that we moved on to the inside of the house. It's definitely not very matchy-matchy in here. I tried to mismatch some things, like some wood colors and some just regular colors. I tried to mismatch everything a little bit because I feel like that would really go with the vibe. This house is not too luxurious, and it just has like hand-me-down furniture or like furniture that they found at a secondhand store or what have you. Just older looking pieces combined with some newer looking pieces. And it's just not too luxurious overall, but it is really cozy, and that's what I tried to go for. I also placed some like cracks on the walls and things because I did feel like this house was a bit older, and I mean, it's the jungle. I feel like maybe there are going to be earthquakes from time to time, things like that. So yeah, I kind of wanted the house to look not too old and outdated, but you can definitely tell that it's an older little building that has been used for quite some time, and yeah, it has seen some things. That's kind of the vibe that I wanted to create with this little house. And here you can see I started furnishing the middle floor, the second floor, if that's what you want to call it, because this is the part where the front door leads up to. If you look at the house from the outside, you can see there are big sliding doors on the ground floor, but I feel like that's not the front door. When you walk up the stairs, then there is the front door on the second floor. So when you walk into the house, you enter into that little living area. I didn't give them a TV or anything because I did feel like, I don't know, they might have radio here, but I don't feel like they receive TV, if that's how you say that. I just thought that that would be a little bit more just realistic in that sense. So I didn't give them a TV, but I did give them a lot of books because I feel like whenever the archaeologist is staying here and they're doing a lot of research and things, maybe they read a lot of books or maybe they write books as well. And I also decorated this little working space for them with a very cute and old looking desk. And I actually used a lot of little items here and there from the Journey to Batuu stuff pack. I know that a lot of people don't have that stuff pack, and I totally understand that. So I usually try to avoid using items from that pack. But for this house, they were just too perfect not to use. There were so many quirky little things that I thought would be perfect for this house. For example, the chair that I used by the desk is from Journey to Batuu, and I don't know, I just thought it was perfect. It's so weird. It looks like an old chair from maybe like a plane or something that was converted into a quote-unquote regular chair. I just really like the vibe of that chair. I thought it was perfect for this little house for the archaeologist. I don't know why, but it just really fit the vibe. So I decided to go for it anyway. And then I decided, you know what? I'm already using an item from Journey to Batuu that I really don't want to switch out. I might as well just use some more things. So there are a couple of things. Not too many, and I feel like you would be able to replace them quite easily. They're mainly just decorative pieces, except for the chair. So yeah, they should be easy to change out for something else. But here you can see that I moved on to the top floor of the house. It's the smallest room, and I turned this room into the bedroom like I already explained. I used a lot of items from Jungle Adventure in general in this build as well, obviously because it fits in with the vibe and with the world. And it had actually been a while since I used the bed from Jungle Adventure. I really like the beds that it came with. So I overused them for quite some time, but then I decided to just try to stay away from them for a while, so I did. But I felt like today I was allowed to use them again. So I used both of the beds from Jungle Adventure in this build. And yeah, I just tried to make this bedroom very colorful, but at the same time not too overpowering with colors. So there are definitely lots of little pops of color, but it's, yeah, I don't know, I feel like it's not too overpowering. I think it's just fine. And I also feel like because this is their jungle home and not their regular home, the sim that stays here, they felt like they could go a bit crazy with the decorations, and also they probably didn't have heaps of choices to pick from when it comes to decorations and furniture and things like that. Yeah, I also feel like because this is their jungle home, they kind of just go crazy with the colors because they can and they think it's fun. I thought that that would be a cute idea. And then this house has also a couple of balconies here and there. They're very, very small. So I just placed a couple of like chairs here and there, and I also placed an easel on one of the balconies connected to the living area, I think. I actually forgot to furnish the little balconies at first because they're so small and I completely forgot about them, especially the ones off to the side in the back of the house. But I did furnish them eventually. You'll see that once we move on to the game, and I'll show you the house in the game. But here you can see we're actually moving on to the ground floor of the house, and this is where the kitchen is and also where the little archaeologist research station is, or whatever you want to call it. It's that item that actually comes with the gameplay for Jungle Adventure. So I figured it would make sense in here since this house is meant for an archaeologist. So I just placed that item in a little corner. And I also decided, this is when I decided that I wanted to place an extra bedroom in the house because the ground floor was just a little bit too spacious, and I don't know, I felt like I needed to do something with the space. So I figured I could add an extra bedroom, and that's when I came up with a little storyline as well. So yeah, it works out perfectly fine. And I was definitely playing around with colors for the kitchen as well. I loved using that blue backsplash combined with the yellow countertops. I always love the color combination of blue and yellow. They're just such pretty colors together. So I figured to go a little bit crazy with the colors in the kitchen as well. And I just cluttered up some pieces or the shelves in the kitchen to make it look a little bit more lived in. And yeah, the kitchen is actually quite spacious and quite nice for a little house like this. But I figured, you know what, it's not off the grid anyway, so I might as well just make it a little bit nicer than I was initially planning on making it. But it works out in the end, I feel like. I think it's really cute. And I also placed a dining table on the ground floor as well. There is, I think, 3 chairs, so if you're staying here with 3 Sims, then you're perfectly fine. It actually might have 2 chairs, maybe 2 chairs that are accessible and 1 that's not accessible. I don't know, we'll see that in a second. But there is also a little bar area, as you can see, with 2 bar stools, so your Sims can sit there and eat as well. And yeah, I just cluttered up the place a little bit. I also thought that this Sim, whenever they like find things in their research or like they dig up things that they don't really need, I feel like maybe they would take those items to the market, because you could see that way earlier in the speed build when we were still decorating the outside area. I actually placed that little market table. And I feel like maybe every once in a while this Sim will like host a little sale, or they will take that table to the market. Maybe it has wheels, I don't really know. But I feel like they sell their little fossils and like crystals and minerals that they find and that they don't really need for research purposes. I feel like they would sell it. They would maybe host a sale or sell it on the market in the little downtown area of Selvadorada. I thought that would be a really cute idea. But yeah, here you can see me placing down that little dining table. I was struggling a little bit with trying to find the right size, but then I went with this little round dining table from Paranormal Stuff because it just went perfectly with the color scheme. It was so bright and colorful and I just loved it so much. So I decided to use it, and yeah, here you can see that there are actually 2 chairs by the table. So if you're staying here with 3 Sims, then one of them might have to eat at the bar, but I feel like that's all right. And I just cluttered up the place with some extra fossils and like crystals and minerals or whatever you want to call them. And I just wanted to make it look cozy and cutesy and lived in, but definitely not matchy-matchy. Like the furniture is kind of all over the place, and I feel like that suits this house. But here you can see I had the perfect little nook for that research table, so I put it there, and I thought it was just the cutest little working station or like working area. It just made so much sense to me. And here on the ground floor, we also have the bathroom. It's the only bathroom in the house. So if you're staying here with 3 Sims, then I don't know, it might be a bit of a struggle, but at the same time, that kind of gives the house more character and makes it a little bit more fun and realistic in that way. But yeah, I just placed a shower and a toilet and a sink in here, and everything works perfectly fine. It's very cramped, but I play tested it and everything works. So I was using the shower from Jungle Adventure in here as well. I love that shower. I love the tiles in the shower, even though I placed the shower into the wall a little bit, as you can see, but I still really like the way that it looks. I love the shower head on it. I think it looks so pretty, and I should use this shower more often. I used to use it a lot when I first got this pack, and then I don't know, I kind of got over it for some reason, probably because I used it so much. But now I feel like I should use it more often because I think it looks so pretty. But here you can see we have moved on to the second and last bedroom in the house. I used a lot of items from Jungle Adventure in here again, as you can tell. And I used that bed again because, I don't know, the colors on it are so bright and pretty, and I was having so much fun combining orange and teal for this bedroom. Like I already said, I love like blue and yellow and like orange and teal color combinations. It's my favorite thing in the world. I don't know why, and I feel like I talk about it too much, but I'm just very passionate about that color combination. And then I used this dresser or that wardrobe from Movie Hangout, I think it is. And I thought it went perfectly with this room. And the same goes for that chair from Paranormal Stuff. The colors actually go hand in hand with the colors on the items from Jungle Adventure. So yeah, I was really happy to actually find that and use those items in this build as well. I was struggling to make this room a little bit more cozy and decorated, but then I found a couple of paintings that I really liked, so I just quickly put them on the wall. And I think I ended up placing a couple of shelves on this wall, and I cluttered them up with some extra books and some extra knickknacks here and there. And then I feel like that's it for the inside of the house. I was really enjoying cluttering this build up because I found a lot of like little fossils and little crystals, little items that I don't normally use, but that were actually perfect for this build. So I was having so much fun with that. But here you can see that I quickly decorated the little balconies off to the side and off to the back of the house. And on one of them, I actually placed an easel. So you have an extra little skill building item up there. And then I moved on to the rest of the, well, I was going to call it a backyard. It's not really a backyard. It's just, I don't know, an outside area, I guess. But here you can see I quickly placed an outside bin, and I also placed a picnic table and an extra bench because I did want there to be some, just parts where you can hang out outside and just relax. And I also made this house a little bit more eco-friendly with solar panels, as you can see. Because I was thinking that this house, it's not off the grid, but it does provide its own like electricity and stuff. So that's why I placed a couple of solar panels here and there. I was also thinking of placing a little windmill on the house, but I just didn't really like the way it looked. So that was mainly, I left it out mainly for screenshot purposes. But if you want to place a windmill on the house to make it more eco-friendly, you can just definitely do that because there's more than enough space for that. But yeah, that's actually it. So let's hop on into the game. So here we have the house in the game. I think it looks really fun and quirky, and I don't know, there's just a lot going on, and I feel like it would be so much fun to stay here. But as you can see, this is that little outside area with the market table that I was talking about before. I feel like maybe they take this table to the market every now and then, or maybe they like host a sale right here. And this is one of those other quirky little items from Journey to Batu that I used for this build that you could easily remove if you don't have it. It's not a big problem. And I just placed a little extra pots and things right here as well to just clutter it up a little bit. And over here we have an extra little area where you can sit down. There's also a grill back here and an extra little bench. And then on the back here we have this very cool statue that I just thought was really pretty, so I just put it there. And we have some extra random storage here and this little fountain or faucet thing, and the outside bin is right there as well. Let's start with the main level of the house, which is the second floor. So when you walk into the house, you enter into this very colorful and cozy living area. I really like this part of the house. I think it's very cute. There is no TV here, but there is a bookcase so your Sims can read a little if they want to. And there is also a little desk or office space right here where I feel like the archaeologist would like do some work, just write down notes for their books or what have you. And I also placed a shelving unit back here with a couple of items that they found and wanted to keep, for example. Let's go downstairs first. So when we take the ladder and we go downstairs, you enter into this little working area where there is that archaeologist table that comes with Jungle Adventure. And then over here we have the little dining area that I think is really cozy and just very colorful. And then over here we have the kitchen, complete with some island counters and bar stools, and yeah, just a regular kitchen with everything that your Sim would need. And then over here we have the second bedroom, which I thought could be for friends or a family member or a kid, or they could just rent it out. It could be for anything basically, but I had the space for it, so I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna put in an extra bedroom because it always comes in handy. And then downstairs we have the only bathroom in the house as well, which kind of speaks for itself. It's very simple, but it has everything that your Sim would need. And then here we have the top floor of the house, which is the main bedroom of the house. So there's a double bed in here and a dresser and an extra little side table with just some knickknacks and things. And there is also two balconies attached to this bedroom. In the front we have this balcony right here with a chair and just a random little planter box. And on the back of the room we have this extra little balcony. There's not much going on here, just a chair and a plant. And then on the second floor we actually have this little balcony off to the side as well with an easel on it. But yeah, that's actually it for this house. So this jungle rental comes in at 69,285 simoleons. So I think for a rental it comes down to, I have no clue, maybe 600 300 simoleons a day, so it's quite expensive, but yeah, that's just what it is. But that's actually going to be it for this video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this build. You can definitely go ahead and download it off the gallery if you want to. My username on the gallery is Simmarysims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmarysims as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so, and if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next build. Bye!